Welcome to INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
I got breaking news.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
According to my, listen, I'm putting one hand to my earphone to one ear. Mm-hmm. I got two fingers pressing one ear.
All you can hear on the earphone is us.
There's somebody else coming through.
Listener, you hold for Michael, listener. Michael, do you have something?
I have something. Apparently, Kirstie Alley has died.
They're going to know this. This is 2 weeks old.
No, this is why it's news, Kevin. We're delivering something you haven't heard.
Well, not the people that are listening live. Well, they don't know that.
We're the only ones listening live.
No, I opened up the stream.
There's no stream.
What
service
didn't know,
did you
but I
use
opened it up.
What did you use?
Google Friends.
Google Friends?
Mm-hmm.
Is Chandler listening?
What?
No, but did you know this?
You're compounding Mike's terrible late made up.
But Ross and Rachel are really enjoying this right now.
Oh,
did you know that the name of an adult kangaroo is a Chandler?
What?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the babies are Joey's.
Oh, yeah, I knew the babies were Joey. What are the women?
The women?
The adult kangaroo women.
Overrated. I just don't listen, and this isn't about women of every species. I just don't like women kangaroos.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
And if that makes me misogynist, then so be it. But I think women kangaroo, I mean, look at them. They're hopping around thinking that they think they can hop as much as a man kangaroo.
Well, they have a baby kangaroo in their pouch, and
they can do it with a pouch.
If the video game Kangaroo taught me anything, they have little boxing gloves on the little kangaroo.
There's no video game called Kangaroo.
Is that called Kangaroo?
Mm-mm.
The yellow kangaroo. And
I remember one time a movie came on late. I was probably about 6 or.
Did it make you feel funny?
6. I was a kid, so I was like 6, 9, or maybe I was like 18. Maybe I was like 18 or 19. But this movie came on. It was called Kanga, the Boxing Roo, and it was about a boxing kangaroo, and it was a live action show, and it was about a kangaroo that was. I was really excited, and it was coming on late, and I was like, "Mom, can I watch Kanga, the Boxing Roo?" And she said yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
But it started late, like at 9 or something. And then she came in and it was not a cartoon. And she was like, I thought this was a cartoon. And I was like, no. I was like incredulous. And Kanga, the Boxing Roo, is not a cartoon. It's a real movie.
Wow.
And then she said, you're not allowed to watch it. And so I just
what kids cartoon was starting at 9?
I never said it was a car. All right, listen, hold on. I never said it was a fucking cartoon, Mom. I never said that. Yeah. I just asked if I could watch Kanga, the Boxing Roo, and I don't understand why the fuck it's a. I don't make that different. I don't see why it's somehow. Why is it acceptable for me to stay up late to watch a cartoon? But it's not acceptable for me to stay up late and watch fucking cinema.
How old are you when this is going on?
Like I said, I was like 6 or 8 or 9 or 19 or 20 or something like that. I don't know.
That's
when did you finally get a bedtime above 9 p.m.?
You know, I'm trying to remember when I actually did get
I think I watched many a half episode of Simon and Simon.
Yeah,
I think that was the era when I moved past. We stopped at 8:30 for a long time.
Wow.
Breaking news: guest star of Simon and Simon, Kirstie Alley, has died.
Oh no!
Already,
no.
This is old news already.
Too soon. That lady from Cheers died just seconds ago.
Yeah, that was
awful.
Also Kirstie Alley.
No, I think it was
Kirstie Alley was awesome. I was excited. I haven't.
I'm sorry.
I was excited to tell you guys because that was news to me because I don't. I have Twitter, but I've taken it off my phone. But occasionally when I get stuff on, and I was actually looking for something else an article popped up on Rolling Stone magazine. Kirstie Alley was a sidebar, but also the singer of the band The Clean died. And Bob Dylan still got it.
Why is Kirstie Alley in Rolling Stone, of all things? Like, what is
she's dead.
Yeah, but why would they even talk about that? What has she done that the best music magazine ever made, that it's still the best,
the most
it's still putting out the most relevant, best?
Yeah.
Like, why are they covering?
I read a really good piece about David Crosby's
America's Sweetheart
ceramic turtle collection. Ooh, guess who gave a big RIP to Kirstie Alley on Twitter?
Who's that?
Shelley Long.
Travis Tritt.
What?
Shocked and saddened by the news of Kirstie Alley.
What's their connection?
Yeah.
And then there's another. I'm just going to read some obits on Twitter now.
This is good.
I don't think this is our 100th episode. This isn't what the people want to hear.
Bullshit.
This is exactly what they want to hear.
Kirstie Alley, I love you forever. Guess who said that? The winner gets $500.
Bob Hope.
Ted Danson.
No, the Iron Sheik.
Are you the wrestler, the Iron Sheik?
Yeah.
I'm impressed he's still alive.
Is he WWF? WWE? What is his?
He was, WWF isn't WWF anymore.
Right. Was the Iron Sheik? Did he wrestle the Von Erichs?
No,
that was Skandar. I don't know. Maybe they all wrestled each other.
Maybe George the Animal Steel.
Oh, yes. The great George the Animal Steel. You know, have we talked about the Von Erichs enough, Mike, for you to do a get to know your podcast about just the Von Erichs?
I'll do that. I feel like we probably should.
Yeah, that's something I think a lot of our Texas listeners might know, but are the majority of our listeners who are from overseas would be fascinated to hear
about wrestling.
True.
American grappling. Do they have wrestling overseas the way we have wrestling?
They do in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Whether you agreed with her or not, Kirstie Alley was an undeniable talent who brought joy to many through screen and her warm, hilarious spirit. R.I.P. love, you are one of a kind. Guess who said it?
Parker Stevenson, her ex-husband.
Woody Harrelson.
No, it was, and she retweeted the last thing that Kirstie Alley had tweeted at her. So this will tell you what it is.
Coach.
Kirstie Alley had tweeted at her, I love you, all caps, Jack Hay, Harry.
Ooh.
You are funny as hell and make everyone want to be your best friend.
Well, Jack A, okay. I'll allow.
From TV's 227.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 227, the apartment number, I believe.
Hey, I'm just gonna give this as a
so very sad. Kirstie Alley, R.I.P. My condolences to her family. Guess who said it?
I'm gonna say that was Jason Bateman.
Robin Colcord, whatever his name was.
That guy's dead, I think.
Incorrect. It was Robert Patrick, T2. T2, the Terminator 2000.
Mike has lost his headset.
Terminator 2000, wishing his support for the newly deceased Kirstie Alley. And, that makes sense because he's kind of a science fiction guy and she lived a science fiction religion.
Agent Doggett.
What's that from?
From X-Files. He replaced Mulder, and then
that show.
Everybody hated him. He's kind of an action star. I kind of like him.
Okay, you guys are definitely going to know who this is.
Okay, one more.
A lot of us are bummed right now. I can feel it. Kirstie Alley defined relatable. Beautiful and funny is not easy to pull off. Actually, that's true. Kirstie Alley was part of a small pantheon of the fearless and shameless. She always told her truth on screen in our TV. And then there's a he. Gave you a little hint. He put a emoji in our TV rooms. There's a little TV emoji. She is missed real time. Guess who said that?
Norm.
No.
Cliff Clavin.
No, it was Vernon Reid, the lead guitar player from Living Colour.
When were we going to get that ever?
The cost of personality.
Neon Lights. Nobel Prize.
Nobel Prize. When a leader speaks, that affection lies.
So welcome to the International News Service. We're your hosts. I'm Kevin Harrison, along with...
I'm Brian Camp.
I am OT level 17 Scientologist Mike Wiebe and supporter of the Kirstie Alley I Miss You Fund.
Are all those people well-wishing her just because she was a Scientologist and they're Scientologists? Is that what they do?
I don't know.
Is it just they ring the bell and they're all like, there's this...
I feel like I would have heard if any of those people were Scientologists.
So does that mean the Thetans finally got her?
Well, she was 71.
Well, it's weird because if you reach the upper levels of Scientology, you won't get cancer.
OK Magazine said she spoke out against Scientology just before her untimely death.
A real SP.
Wait, she spoke out against Scientology?
Right.
Maybe that's what did her in.
According to OK Magazine, which I've never heard of until this moment.
Oklahoma Magazine?
Yes.
Right. They've done a lot of Scientology exposés, so that makes sense.
Somebody put a R.I.P. Kirstie Alley with a picture of Fergie. That's kind of funny. Well, I don't mean to make light. I did like Kirstie Alley. I don't know much about.
I like Cheers. I like Summer School.
Oh, she was great in Summer School.
Yeah.
Oh, she was in Star Trek 2? Runaway?
Remember that you said that.
She was in the Wrath of Khan. Oh.
Is that a hint?
Look who's talking. Look who's talking too. Look who's talking now.
Are you talking about yourself? That you're talking?
Yeah, well, you, Kevin.
I mean, sort of.
Was that Bruce Willis voicing that baby?
Bruce Willis. That's how John Travolta would say Bruce Willis. Hey, look at here. I'm John Travolta. That's Bruce Willis.
That's like Italian. I mean,
hey.
That is. I mean, I guess he was of Italian descent.
I get along with Kirstie Alley because we both are into Scientology. The baby's talking is Bruce Willis.
Wow. Yeah. So we have a special guest for our 100th episode. It's
John Travolta. I'm here to talk about my friend Kirstie Alley.
And what the listener unfortunately can't see is the spasming that goes along with maybe the best John Travolta.
That's part of the John Travolta impression is that you got to move your shoulders right here.
Pumping and moving wildly. It's very convincing. It's like we've been joined by star of stage and screen
and Bruce Willis.
I hear Bruce Willis likes wine coolers.
You've given him a very...
He likes Seagram's golden wine coolers.
What?
That Bruce Willis did commercials for Seagram's golden wine coolers.
Yeah.
Did he? I don't know.
Yeah,
that.
And he was sitting out on the porch, and him and his bros in the Return of Bruno band, his blues buddies, were hanging out, and he just he pull out a harmonica and play a fucking stanky little lick, and then go, Seagram's golden wine cooler, Seagram's golden wine cooler. It's wet and it's dry. Oh, my.
80s advertising.
Yeah. Yep. That's when things were good. Not like now when things are not good.
Now when I drink.
A wine cooler would be good.
Yeah.
What are we drinking now? We're drinking White Claws. We're drinking Trulies. We're drinking hard seltzers. It's just clear colored wine coolers. That's all it is.
Yep, you're right, Michael. Fortified wine.
I did have it's Christmas season. Aren't you drinking eggnog?
Oh yeah, I'm drinking nog till I vom. If you see a bunch of nog vom outside, you know that I'm probably inside. If you see a bunch of nog vom inside, I'm probably outside.
I like that you start drinking with the ultimate goal of vomit. Like that's why you select eggnog.
I like that Mike is clearly traveling in a straight line. Like if it's outside, then he's inside. And so if it's inside, then he's outside, but he can't be where he was before, or he'd be inside. So he must be like, I only go in through the front door.
Listen,
I'm going through the back door.
After a nog vom bomb, it smells. It does not smell good. I'm not one to stand in my own filth.
Well, that's debatable.
No, there's no debating it. When I make a mess, I leave immediately and let someone else clean it up, and then I come back.
Oh, we know.
We've all dealt with it before.
I don't know. I'm chilling on the booze in this holiday season.
So what does that mean? You define that for us.
I'm doing cocaine instead of drinking.
Smart.
It is white, like snow on the ground.
I don't like the way you said that.
Oh no, I'm trying to like not drink as much I've
really
been on a little bit of a tear, I guess, and I'm trying to trying to zip things up.
Yeah.
Trying to get some Christmas presents, you know?
Oh, you're trying to get off the naughty list.
Mm-hmm. A little late in the game for that, Michael.
Yeah.
No, listen, that's the great thing about being a hardcore Christian like I am. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how late in the game. Right. It's just as long as you do it. I mean, I could probably keep it going for another week and a half, but I'm going to go ahead. And...
I hate to tell you this, but this is the 21st. Christmas is 4 days away.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to make it, Mike.
I might.
That's a lot of chocolate in your Advent calendar.
Yeah. My favorite horror movie is Advent Horizon.
What? Mike.
What?
Come on.
Listen, I'm fucked up on nog right now.
That's right. I
had a bunch of nog.
You're gonna beeline it outside for your nog bomb.
Once I vomit out, I'll be coming with the A material. I'm also I'm also grieving.
Okay.
I'm grieving.
Oh, for Kirstie Alley.
Yeah. I am letting that sink in. That is a weird,
Yeah.
We're having all the stars of TGI Friday. I mean, Must See TV Thursday.
It was Thursday.
They're all dying. Richard Mulligan.
Is it a conspiracy? Is this similar to the JFK, every conspirator killed within a year type issue? Are we?
I mean, I don't know. It's something to be looked into.
Woody Harrelson died.
No, Woody Harrelson's fine.
She was the last remaining cast member of Cheers.
Yeah. John Ratzenberger is dead.
No, he's alive.
George Wendt is dead.
Also alive.
Ted Danson is dead.
Doing fine.
Coach is dead.
Well, that is true.
The guy who played the rich guy, Robin.
Yeah, he
not
is
Robin
dead,
Masters.
No, Robin Masters was Robin Colcord.
What if it was? What if Robin Masters and Robin on Cheers?
You guys are bringing up so much stuff that's going to get brought up later.
Okay, I'm going to shut up then. I had no idea. It's always a surprise to us.
Getting to know your podcast is...
It makes sense that that's the title of it, because here we are discussing what is maybe the golden age of network sitcom-ery.
We're living in the Belisario sense.
So this is a very special week, guys.
Very special.
It's our Christmas episode, and it's also our 100th episode.
Wow!
So I just want to say to you guys, congrats on wasting hundreds of hours of your lives, to entertain our listeners.
Hundreds. That's a little bold. I mean, over 100 for sure, but not hundreds.
I mean, these used to take like 3 hours to record, though.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I feel like we've done.
Think how much time we've wasted. They owe us.
Let me think about how I can let the listeners thank me.
Okay.
Send me nudes.
Just make sure you send those to Mike
with consent. I consent to you sending me nudes.
I believe it's Mike Wiebe on Twitter.
Right.
Oh, you're not on Twitter anymore.
I'm not checking Twitter very much. So if I don't get back to you, don't think it's because I think
it's Mike Wiebe on Instagram.
Right.
I don't even have an Instagram account except for the one that my manager does for me.
So this week we've got 3 Christmas related news stories, and then Mike has something special cooked up and get to know your podcast.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sucks. Actually, I'm a little bummed out because I had something else planned, and we were going to have a special guest call in, but apparently she is no longer with us.
Oh, that would have been fantastic.
Damn. We were going to do a full.
Think that's what caused it?
We're going to do a full Cheers reunion with the entire cast.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's down anymore. They think it's in poor taste.
We've called it all off.
I don't believe that Woody Harrelson recognizes poor taste.
No, he said it was cool, but it was some of the others that got real bee in their bonnet about it.
Give us a name.
Kelsey Grammer.
Okay.
Bebe Neuwirth.
I don't know which one. Who's that?
Lilith.
Oh yeah.
So guys, our first story comes to us from Live Science.
Ah, Jesus.
Could be Live Science as well. But anyway, so Mike, you said you're trying to get on the good list. This story may be important to you.
Why will it be important?
Well, Saint Nicholas was a 4th century bishop who was born and died in what is today Turkey.
First of all, I don't recognize the saints. I'm a hardcore Christian, so I don't deal with any of the Catholic BS. Okay? We worship the one true God. His name is Jesus H. Christ, and we worship him and his dad, God.
Right. What is
we don't fall into the whole I got all my fucking saints, and I got Saint Charles and Saint Jim. I don't do all that. I got time for my main man Jay and his Papa God.
So Saint Nicholas was also known as Nicholas the Wonder Worker, but he is best known today as the origin point for Santa Claus. And according to legend, and he's called Nicholas the Wonder Worker, and according to legend, some of his accomplishments included rescuing 3 girls from prostitution, chopping down a demon-possessed tree, resurrecting 3 murdered children who were pickled in brine, and supposedly anonymously gave the poor the wealth he inherited.
All right, good dude.
Which also, if you remember back to, I think it's episode 96, there was another dead body that was pickled in brine. So Saint Nicholas died in 343 and was buried in Turkey. But around 1087, his remains were stolen, and supposedly they're buried in Ireland, but this is disputed. And the location of his tomb was lost.
That's cool that Santa Claus is buried in Ireland.
Maybe it's disputed.
No, I'm telling you, it's true.
Okay,
that's why there's no snakes.
You heard it here first, folks.
Why there's no snakes?
But that was because of Saint Patrick.
They teamed up. It was a team up.
Yeah. It was like a Marvel team up.
Super group.
Mm-hmm. He's a Roman emperor, a Roman Empire guy then, right?
Yeah, so it's modern day Turkey, but it would have been the Roman Empire in 343 when he died.
Constantinople.
Yes, Constantinople.
Right?
In Istanbul.
Yeah. Sometimes they're confused. I don't know why the name changed though. Something
legal. They got sued.
Yeah.
There was another Istanbul.
Okay. The third person you fought in Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
Yeah.
Are we going to just review They Might Be Giants lyrics all night?
I mean, we could.
So,
all right. That's a good record, you know? Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
This shouldn't be too much of a surprise since the church, which operated until 1923, was built in 520 on the foundation of an older church where St. Nicholas was bishop. Part of the reason it was hard to locate the grave is that grave robbers had pushed other sarcophagi out of the way when they stole St. Nicholas's bones, and they blocked its location. Nevertheless, Christmas just got a whole lot spookier this year.
Somebody stole Santa's bones?
In 1087.
Whoa.
Why'd they steal his bones?
So it was a big deal in the Middle Ages to have the bones of saints on display in churches.
Was it a heaven pass? What do they call that?
I think because I think it's you're
word for
you're
it,
closer to holy death. Clearly this saint went to heaven, and you're the closest thing to their dead withered corpse. So obviously you're going to heaven.
I think that's what that Alice Chains song is about.
Alice,
what song is that?
Is she your favorite singer-songwriter?
Yeah. Gonna end up a big old pile of them bones. I feel so alone. Gonna end up a big old pile of them bones. I believe this song is called Dem Bones. You remember that Alice Chains song?
Sure.
That's what it's about. They were real into 15th century saints.
No, he's 4th century.
Yeah, but they were into 15th century, and that was their one throwback song to the 4th century.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they were in around in the 1990s.
I know, but that's what they wrote about.
Right.
I see.
Yeah, most Alice Chain songs are about 15th century papal issues.
So what was that Rooster song about?
That was about, let me try to remember the lyrics. Lyrics are, yeah, they come to snuff a rooster, but he ain't gonna die.
Yep. Well, clearly that some sort of resurrection is occurring.
Yeah, right. And the rooster symbolizes a big pope outfit, big red robes. And the big hat sort of looks like a big. Right. It's red. Wow. And there's kind of a gold down the middle that kind of looks like a rooster, whatever the little waddle they have under their beaks.
It's where the phrase "cock of the walk" comes from. Is the Pope used to walk through Vatican City, bobbing his head furiously back and forth.
And then it was popularized the way Lane Staley used to walk through the crowd to get to the stage.
He's dead, right?
He's dead.
He's probably singing a duet with Kirstie Alley right now.
She's singing, I'm gonna end up a big old pile of dim bones.
Oh, do you think people will steal her bones?
Oh, yeah.
You mean Saint Kirstie Alley?
You never know. I'm sure in Scientology, if she's enough clear enough.
The Scientological saint. Well, no, it said, according to OK Magazine, she spoke out against it. No longer a Scientologist.
So they had her killed.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about I'm about to have to go fucking. When it comes to me solving cases, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Oh yeah.
I'm worried I'm going to have to go choke out David Miscavige.
That's his name, right?
Yeah.
What does that get you?
Well, the truth, the fucking truth, Kevin.
That used to mean something.
It gets me results, and you don't hire me if you don't want results.
What are we hiring you for again?
To solve the murder of Kirstie Alley.
Oh, okay. How much you charge?
He donates his time now.
Yeah,
that's his thing. Like he's so successful from the lifetimes he's lived due to the amulet.
Oh,
that he's trying to pay his way back into getting Christmas gifts for all the evil he's done. So
it sounds like it's going to cost a lot up front, but in the end, I usually end up taking the case pro bono.
Oh, like the A-Team.
Yes, but sometimes I sleep with the client, and it's pro boner.
Well, Kirstie Alley's got one more surprise in store for her, I guess.
That's more like Jim Rockford.
We waited long enough. Here. Who did he hate? He hated old fucking Larson, right?
Oh, Glenn Larson.
Yeah, he punched out Glenn Larceny. So somebody stole the fucking bones of Santa. Why haven't we made a movie about this?
That would be way better. That would be a way better Da Vinci Code than the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah,
like you're on a hunt for the bones of Santa, and then when you get there, there's just like a wrapped present. You open it up, and it's Santa's bones.
So I didn't know Santa came from the 4th fucking century.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, did they even have like? They didn't have like forks back then, even.
No, Santa is pre-fork.
They had forks, I think.
No, they just had their hands. Yeah, they definitely didn't have. They didn't have the color red in clothes.
So red didn't exist. The color spectrum had not been filled out yet.
But did they have sleighs?
Why wouldn't they?
Because it's the year 400.
Right.
They just figured out fire like 40 years ago.
Have you not seen Ben-Hur?
I've seen Ben-Hurl.
So
that's what I do. That's what I do for drinking too much eggnog.
So one of these Christmases, if we record too early and I don't have any stories that I can put together, I might do something that's like the pagan origins of Santa Claus. It's
not pagan. It's Christian.
Goes all the way back to Satan.
Santa Claus is Christian.
And quit saying pagan.
Yeah.
It's pagan.
Pagan.
Kevin,
it stands for people against goodness and normalcy.
Thanks, Strebeck.
Yeah, you're welcome, Friday. Look, Santa is canonically Christian,
right?
And even though that they tie him in with this, he rejected all the Catholic bullshit too.
No, there was no such thing except for Catholicism then. Like he was just Catholic.
In his mind, and he rejected it. He was like, "I'm going to go the one true way."
The Catholic bishop.
I'm going to be Southern Baptist.
Yeah, he started that way, but once Southern Baptist was an option, he switched.
Yeah,
he's been around for a long time.
Yeah, once he realized that drinking and dancing was wrong.
Big dominoes player, Santa.
Why don't they? I say they, but I kind of actually mean we. Dig up them bones.
Okay.
And DNA test them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because they don't know where they're at now. They think during the Crusades, somebody took some bones to Ireland and said, these are St. Nicholas's bones. We need to bury them here. And so they buried some bones, and now they think that it was actually just like a local priest.
He was probably pretty good too.
Were the bones in the color of candy canes? That's how you can tell.
Yeah, I don't know. We got to dig them up to find out. So our next story comes to us from Sora News 24.
24 hours? 24. What is the 24 in reference to?
It goes on 24 hours a day, but it's a Japanese news blog. I've grabbed from it before.
George Soros News 24 hours?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Shit. That's what I've been fighting against my entire life.
You got enough of that guy.
Your mom's gonna be real proud.
George Soros, 24 hours a day. Just all day telling you to go to paying people to go to protests. Yep. All day coverage of protests.
So on last year's Christmas episode, which I believe was episode 48.
We've been doing this for over a year?
We've been doing this for almost 2 years, Brian.
Yeah. Well, we met Philip Pampers along the way.
That's true.
It's about the Pampers you meet on the way.
Yep.
So on last year's Christmas episode, we talked about the Christmas tradition in Japan of eating a bucket of fried chicken on Christmas.
Oh yeah, we're going to start doing that. Yep.
Yeah.
You guys got 4 days to plan.
Oh, how? Oh, well, that's not near enough time.
That's right. If you don't put your order into KFC days in advance, they'll never have the chicken ready.
Exactly.
That's their business model is advance ordering of food.
So this year, Pepsi has introduced the ultimate drink to pair with this Japanese Christmas meal, which they call Pepsi Fried Chicken Senyo Cola. Allegedly, the new Pepsi contains dietary fiber and lemon to help cut through the oiliness of the fried chicken, while the scent and sweetness of the cola has been reduced to enhance the flavor of the chicken. Pepsi Fried Chicken Senyo Cola hits stores in Japan on December 6th and will only be available during winter. Each bottle is priced at 160 yen or $1.18, which seems really reasonable for soda.
Yeah, for a chicken specialty soda?
Yeah.
Great. Surely there's specialty stores here in the States that will get their hands on a bottle of...
Let's get one of our Japanese listeners to pour some of it into a plastic bag and Ziploc that up,
right?
And send it over to us,
right?
Just mark it on the form. Say it's urine, so then they won't mess with it.
Just put a big skull and crossbones and poison on it so nobody steals it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Definitely get it.
Also, and I haven't brought this up in a while. Send some urine over.
Oh yeah,
because like I said, I wasn't drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh well, sure. Yeah.
You gotta have some kind of vice. I always say.
Mike Wiebe, General Delivery, Bastrop, Texas. It'll get to it.
Mm-hmm. It's it'll be like a Miracle on 54th Street with just sacks of urine coming in at the last minute. Just truckloads of urine barrels rolling down the street, down the gravel road.
I just imagine this porch, and there are all these just yellow sacks.
Mike just
like sitting on the front lawn,
feet propped up, just gazing wistfully into the horizon, wondering where it all went wrong.
The Christmas miracle.
Beep, beep. And just mail truck after mail truck trundling along with sloshing gallon jugs of urine.
It's enough urine. It's enough urine for the whole town.
For all of Bastrop.
Bastrop to the last drop.
So I do have a question for you guys. What would you pair with fried chicken? What is your drink would you pair with fried chicken here? Because obviously it's going to be hard to get Pepsi Fried Chicken Senyo Cola.
Honestly, hearing them describing the reasons why they did that is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking that kind of soda a long time ago, and now, man, because I'm joking, but barely. When I between I don't know, 17 and 22, I probably exclusively drank Coca-Cola.
Wow.
I didn't drink water for years.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a year or two when I was a kid that I guess my metabolism was hot fast enough that I didn't get too fat or whatever. But it was one of those things when I quit drinking Coke, I immediately, within 3 weeks, lost weight. And I did not change any other dietary stuff.
Right.
I just was I'm going to stop drinking Coca-Cola and drink club soda or whatever. So I haven't had it now. Occasionally, once every, I don't know, year or two, there'll be some situation where I'll take a sip of a Jack and Coke or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And it is so fucking unbelievably sweet.
Yeah.
That I can't believe that it just tastes like pure sugar in my mouth. And it's not good. It does not taste good to me at all. And I can't wrap my mind around how I could ever drink that stuff. But I remember liking it. I remember loving it. I remember loving it.
If you're drinking at a bar, isn't it probably RC Cola? Isn't that the bar trick? It's cheaper to get RC Cola, and RC Cola is a lot sweeter than Coke.
I don't know. I feel like I've had actual Coca-Cola though.
Okay. I mean, I don't disagree. I think it's very sweet. it's I don't drink soft drinks that often at all.
Like I could have a sip and probably enjoy a sip or two, but I could never finish like a full.
Yeah, I do this thing with my girlfriend where I will buy a couple what's
casual mention that you've got a girlfriend.
We talked about this before.
You just shattered the dreams of many of our female listeners.
We're trying to do like a Jackie Chan thing where he never.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know when Jackie Chan announced that he was engaged, that like 4 girls committed suicide.
I shouldn't laugh at that, but that
one of them was Kirstie Alley.
And the other one was Rhea Perlman.
Yep.
She hasn't heard about it yet, though.
No, did that really happen? Did women commit suicide?
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
Oh wow!
And they like left notes saying it's because I know that I'll never be with Jackie now.
Yeah, I knew women like that's like Valentino. When Valentino died, several women committed suicide just because they would never have Rudolph Valentino.
Now he had a big penis, right?
I don't think so.
Or he was just a good lay.
I also kind of don't think so.
He was super rich. Was that part of it too? Like he was
super good looking is the thing, but he was also like
I was also like the one Latin guy that was in American movies too.
Yeah, but I think he was Italian.
Or Italian guy.
Yeah.
He had like Latin looks though.
Yeah.
He was like the one guy that didn't look like a white guy.
Yeah, he would be the Sheik one week and then he would be like the Mexican freedom fighter the next week.
I've been to the grave of his dog.
Oh, Hollywood Forever?
Yeah, we talked about you met that lady there.
Yeah, I
remember that. Yeah.
Was that Hollywood Forever?
No, this is the Hollywood Pet Cemetery. Lots of pets with real racist names.
H.P. Lovecraft's cat was there, huh?
Like names with the most racist name that you could have.
You have to Google that, by the way. I'm not going to tell you what that name is.
Well, that's good of you. Was there something wrong with the ground there, Mike?
Apparently it had gone sour.
Whoa.
Yeah, it used to be land that the Mi'kmaq Indians.
I heard that, but at least the pets there can have another chance at life, right?
There's something.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes, just not all the time. Sometimes,
right?
Dead is better.
That's certainly something that we'll all be thinking about for quite a while.
I was trying. We don't think we answered what we would drink. Well, I just said I wouldn't like to drink
so
soda.
What would you drink? Yeah. Okay.
Because I do love some fried chicken. That's I still eat chicken. I still eat fish, and I don't eat that much fried chicken because it's not so good for you. But god damn, do I love it!
It's so good. It's so good.
I had like some fried chicken, like a fried chicken sandwich from some like hoity-toity pop-up at some hoity-toity bar, and it was stupid. It was like $15 for a sandwich, and I was like, fine. And I'll be goddamned if it wasn't totally worth it. It was so. But I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess maybe I would do just like a club soda. Maybe
I don't like to eat anything with booze. To me, alcohol is I would probably just have like a Coke, but I'd water it down with some club soda and like.
You could add a twist of lemon.
Add a little lemon and maybe some Metamucil to it, just to kind of help with the digestive process. But I wouldn't want it to be too sweet, so I'd water it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd probably like a Pepsi, maybe do it with a Pepsi.
You know what I'm going to have?
What's that?
Fucking a big, like a giant, like imperial pint of eggnog.
That'd be the best nog bomb of all time.
Yeah. And I'm going to try, and my whole thing is I'm going to try and finish the entire bucket of chicken and two of those nogs, 2 imperial pints of nog, no ice, room temperature. I'll drink one before, eat the bucket of chicken, then drink the other.
The entire bucket.
And then just let it go. Let it fucking go.
No.
This story actually replaced a story I had that it just wasn't very good about a guy who got caught. A guy in Wichita Falls who got caught trying to shoplift some eggnog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably trying to nog bomb.
That's right. A good man.
It's not cheap.
That's my holiday tradition. I understand that they do different stuff in different areas, but I'd like to, and like maybe that's a little, I should have a little segment about holiday traditions, but I'll just introduce the listeners to my holiday tradition. It's called nog bombing. and it's where you go try to vom all the nog that you can vom.
Well, it's funny that you mention your holiday traditions, Mike, because this next story might be right up your alley.
Oh boy!
Hey, before we switch over, are you working this week?
I mean, define working.
You want to go to lunch?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to lunch Thursday.
Okay, nog bomb.
All right, listener could hear that. Okay.
Well, I didn't want to forget.
You're all invited.
Well, they can come.
They're welcome.
It's on Mike and Brian.
We'll talk about it next time.
We're going to Noggies, the Austin pop-up nog bomb spot.
Right. It's the one locals go to, not one of those chain
it's not the fucking
joints.
Yeah, you're not going to see. Listen, if you're thinking you're going to see Elon Musk, you're not gonna.
Our next story comes to us from Tasting Table. Which is kind of a food, news, and culture blog.
It's also the classic way to present an assortment of eggnogs.
Yeah, well, so Mike, you were talking about your Christmas traditions, and if I remember correctly, you are king of the zingers. Is that right?
Oh yeah. I am king of the zingers. Well, I mean, I'll say that was bequeathed to me by the former king of the zingers, Prince Philip.
Wow.
Prince of Wales, but king of zingers.
Okay.
The last thing he said to me before he died was a zinger.
You were holding his hand at his bedside.
I was holding his hand at his bedside,
and what was the zinger?
He with the bony, withered finger, he pulled me in closer, and he said, "Why did the Queen continue to buy so many jewels?" And I said, "Why?" He said, and he just shook his head like, "I don't know." And then he goes, "Bitches be a shopping." And then he died.
Yep.
He just like that immediately after he said that, he just goes, and he stuck his tongue out and crossed his eyes and was dead.
Wow.
Anytime there is correct recall of INS canon, I'm so happy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have mentioned that before, but I'm sure it's people need to remember that.
A real treat for the committed listener. Yeah.
I feel like twice as many listeners now as the last time you said that.
Yeah, we're blowing up.
Yep.
So this next story might not be news for you, Mike, but apparently every Christmas, the British royals have a tradition where they weigh themselves before Christmas dinner, and then they get on the scale again once they've eaten. The tradition began with King Edward VII, who was king from 1901 to 1910, and he was Queen Elizabeth's great-great-grandfather. It is believed that if a royal gains at least 3 pounds from the meal, then it's evidence the meal was a good one. Now, I have to just like a little caveat here. So the articles I found said royals were weighed before dinner, but it almost sounds like they might do this before breakfast and then again after dinner, because my research shows that they eat a lot on Christmas. So as for what's served on Christmas, the morning begins with a full English breakfast, which is bacon, sausage, eggs, black pudding, baked beans, potatoes, tomatoes, mushrooms, toast, and tea. At lunch,
that's a lot. I
know. At lunch, they have turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and Brussels sprouts, along with a brandy-soaked flambéed dessert. And then they have afternoon tea with mince pies, sandwiches, Yule logs, and fruitcakes. All of that was plural. Finally, when they supposedly weigh themselves, they have a massive buffet for dinner. Of course, it's also important to note here that you should try to eat your 3 pounds of food as quickly as possible, because as soon as King Charles III puts his cutlery down, the meal ends.
Oh, is that the rule?
Yeah.
That sounds like a British thing.
Yeah. Here's the tradition that I think they should do is you don't weigh yourself until it's at the end of all that, right? And then after you're done eating, after he puts down his cutlery, you weigh yourself, and then you weigh yourself one more time after you've gone to the bathroom, and then you use this is crazy. Then you use math, right? Then you use subtraction you can see how much your fiki weighed.
That's right. I was convinced there was going to be some sort of Nogvom weigh-in.
Well, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, I think like you can, there's definitely like it's fiki and nog. You go to the bathroom, you nog vom, and you also you make a Christmas feek, and you have just a giant pile of you. And the tradition is after the feces, like you then use the smell of the feces to nog vom. So you don't even have to put your you don't even have to put your fingers down your throat for that. You just smell it. You smell its rich blood pudding and tea as digested, and then you nog vom all over it.
Yeah.
So and then what they do is the servants come in and they present the pile to a commoner, and
an orphan boy.
Yeah, and it's like a big deal that they get to have a piece of their own little piece of the royal.
Wow,
yep. It's like Santa's bones.
Yeah, exactly.
Ticket to heaven. Yeah. I wonder if you could assemble. There was some sort of mystery, a la the Da Vinci Code and Santa's bones, that involved assembling all of the royal waste throughout the years.
I mean, so you're like the royal plumber or something.
Well,
is
Royal Mario?
Would you be able to get someone's DNA through their feet?
Yeah.
Shit, I gotta start getting rid of mine.
How are you storing it for now?
Dry storage.
Meaning
you have a root cellar just full.
It's in a
mason jar for each.
It's just a plastic bag.
Right. Just sticks masking tape, puts the date and what he ate that day on every bag.
Wow, the Royals, they sure are classy, aren't they?
I mean, I'm impressed at their ability to eat a commoner's entire day's worth of food for each of their meals, including tea.
They can't. I mean, maybe they did back then, the big, weird, gluttonous ones, but there's no way. Like, that's... Princess Di didn't eat that much food in her fucking lifetime.
Yeah. Edward VII was kind of gluttonous. Like he was kind of known for his gluttony.
What era was he the king? Like in is that 1800s?
No, 1901 to 1910. But he was an old man when he took the crown, and then I think he had a lot of health problems, and I think he died in like extreme pain.
It's weird that he would have health problems.
Yeah. Like, I imagine him as looking like Slimer with legs.
Yeah, that's about right.
I went off before about how Thanksgiving is not the good food holiday, but I think our Thanksgiving, I still don't like Thanksgiving holiday food, but the Christmas food over there doesn't sound that good. Me.
I mean, mince pies are pretty gross. It's like a suet pie. It's like suet, which is
I don't even know what any of that is.
Suet is like rendered pig fat, and then it's like Christmas spices and some fruit.
So it's meat and fruit together in a pie.
It's mostly rendered pig fat. Like when you cut it open, it's like a mini pie. If you like cut it open, it just looks black and gritty inside.
Looks like Gritty from the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yes. So here's your Slimer of a king.
Oh yeah. Good painting though.
Yeah.
Did AI do that?
This was made in his lifetime. You can see he has a little throwing star here under his sash.
Actually, I will say he doesn't look that fat.
I mean, the painter slims you down a little bit.
And there's no way that he didn't tell the painter, if you paint me as I am, I will behead you.
Right.
I'm sure
he's definitely a beheading king.
That's a svelte king for someone.
Yeah, it's like probably the basically like one of those fucking drawings of Trump they do now.
Yeah, he's got a little golden lasso, like Wonder Woman.
He does. Man, that's a lot of clothes. What a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's cold in England.
They did the fingers real swollen up around those rings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. Hell of a scepter.
Do y'all have any holiday traditions you'll be doing this Xmas?
I will be flying to Sweden and I will be attempting to burn down the Yevla goat.
Oh yeah, the goat.
Which, as of this recording, and we'll update this on the page. So if you don't know about the Yevla goat, go listen to episode 48 where we talk about it. But as of this recording, I'm looking at a live cam of the Yevla goat, and it is still standing. But I have not gotten to Sweden yet. So
I wonder if the war in the Ukraine will put too much pressure and put too much risk on any would-be saboteurs. Like if they're saying like, hey, no, you can't, no joking around this year, guys. We're
don't play.
We're worried about.
Don't even play.
There it is. Oh, we are.
See the street cleaning happening. Oh, that's a bus. There was a street cleaner a second ago.
Jesus, how tall is that goat?
I think it's like 40 feet.
Big goat, and it looks like it's made to burn.
Look at all the spikes they got around it too, so you can't get at it.
I mean, all you need is a drone, right?
A drone, a bow and arrow did it once.
Bone Luke Duke.
Good steady vehicle that can ram those spikes they have there.
You don't want to die doing it.
You know, it'd
be a good way to go.
You're gonna go. You would be known for the rest of history. You would be celebrated as a Swedish hero.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess other than nog vomiting, I've never like really thought to weigh myself in and out around a nog vom. But this year, it's kind of exciting to to create traditions.
Right.
This is like weighing myself in and out of a nog vom is going to be like an elf on the shelf, and I'm going to start promoting that as part of the holiday tradition.
It's about time that there were something for the big kids, right? The big kids in us.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
And I think what would be fun is if we actually combine the two. And the thing is, part of the fun is you have to find your kid's elf on a shelf and nog vom on it.
I mean, you're the one who hides it, so it should be pretty easy to find.
Yeah, but I'm going to be so fucking drunk on eggnog, I'll forget.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's fair.
Well, maybe the thing is you blind the kid, and the kid has to use its sense of smell to find a pile of nog vom.
You blindfold the kid, and you have to use your sense. Yeah, that is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if you find it, you get one present, and if you don't find it, you get no presents.
That one might catch on. That might have legs.
Mike, you ready to get to know your podcast?
Die Hard. Is it a holiday movie? Is it a Christmas movie or not? I don't know. I don't like to wade into secular waters, but I do know that the most Christmas TV show ever is Magnum PI. It came up a couple of times without you guys even knowing on this episode. Brian has a mustache right now. Very Tom Selleck vibes.
I concur.
I just need a Dodger or a Tigers hat.
And a Ferrari.
Curlier hair.
You need shag carpeting to cover your chest.
Oh, yeah.
Fuzzy.
Something a lady can really wrap her fingers in.
Yeah. Exactly. In the giant curls.
Right.
Where from a profile, my shirt looks weirdly like there's something wrong, but it's just the force of the hair pushing it out. Yeah.
Well, for those who don't know, Magnum PI is an American crime drama television series starring Tom Selleck as Thomas Magnum, private investigator living on Oahu, Hawaii. The series ran from December 11th, 1980 to May 8th, 1988 during its first run broadcast on the American television network CBS. It was always in the top 20 in the Nielsen ratings, finishing as high as 382, 83 series, and it has come up a lot because it is kind of America, even though it's set in Hawaii, which is not typically an American place.
Right.
It is the United States.
I don't think so. It's actually Polynesia.
I agree to disagree.
I will not agree to that. I'm just going to disagree.
Oh, fair enough.
So what it was about was Tom Selleck. We kind of just described how he looked. This is what made him famous. He had a mustache. Really, you put it down at the end of the day, it was that big, fuzzy, furry mustache.
Brian's furry mustache.
Yeah. Selleck's is a little bit thicker and longer, though.
Okay. So his is more lustrous.
Well, that's not to diminish Brian's mustache, but let's be honest. Most mustaches are not as full as Tom Selleck's. mustache.
Right, yeah, that's fair.
Tom Selleck's mustache, I mean, it had the girth of a porn star's penis, his mustache.
I feel like Tom Selleck's mustache reclaimed the porn stash for middle America.
Yeah, I think so. I think it did, and for a while, because for a long time the mustache was considered a bit of a homosexual thing in the late 70s, early 80s. And Tom Selleck definitely, I believe, I read somewhere that there was some to do about that within the inquirers and stuff, that there was a much to do when he first became famous of whether or not Tom Selleck is gay or not. Turns out he's not, and they tried to let you know that by the opening shot, which to this day makes me horny.
Yeah.
In the opening release, where Tom Selleck is holding a woman, teaching her how to swim, and he looks down at her bikini-clad buttocks, and then looks up to the camera as if to say, "Oh, hachi mama."
Yeah. I know that scene well. Yeah.
Look what I got to deal with. The mustache was a big deal when it came to male sexuality in the 70s. You guys know this?
Mm-mm.
It was sort of like having an earring. Remember when having an earring made you? People would have a thing about that.
Right.
I really tried to dig into more of the mustache stuff.
Well, it's defining.
It's defining,
Well,
and you
that's
look
fair.
at him too, and he now is doing a lot of TV where he doesn't have the mustache, and he looks stupid.
Yes.
He's like Sam Elliott. He just he was born with, honestly, when Tom Selleck was born, it's not that he was born a mustache, is that his mom gave birth to a mustache and the rest of the human grew around it.
It does seem like it belongs even now on his face.
It's not right without him having it. There's an uncanny valley when there's no mustache there.
Did he have it in Quigley Down Under?
Oh yeah, he had it in Quigley Down Under.
Okay,
in fact, he got to even
a twirl.
1800s it out a little bit. Give it a little
cool.
Raleigh.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at him without the mustache, and he does. He's got a lot of upper lip.
Well, we've concentrated on the mustache so far, which was
we've done 20 minutes on the mustache,
which was what this show was about. But let me tell you some other plot points. So he played a guy named Thomas Magnum, which is a very sexual porn star-y kind of name,
Yeah.
And I don't know that they made I would like to find out. Kevin, can you research when they started making Magnum condoms?
That's a good question. I'll break in with breaking news.
Which came first? Well, Thomas Magnum was a private investigator, and he lives in this guest house in a state called Robin's Nest. And it was an owner named Robin Masters, who's an unseen character who you only heard his voice in like 4 or 5 episodes. And
1989.
1989 Magnum condoms. I think it's safe to say that Magnum got their name, that the idea of a penis being so large that it required extra prophylactic came from the idea that Tom Selleck and his mustache would require a bigger Jimmy hat.
I thought Magnum was a firearm term as well, though.
Well, but I mean, no one's ever associated a firearm with a penis before.
Well,
What?
there you go.
There's nothing phallic about a gun. Anyway, so he lives in his house, and then you never see, and it's you only hear the voice twice. The voice provided when you did hear the voice by one Mr. Orson Welles.
Oh wow!
No way.
Yeah. So he lives. It's this like amazing giant house. He operates on PI cases that kind of suit him. You never see who Robin Masters is, but the house is tended to by this guy named Higgins, a.k.a. Jonathan Higgins III, played by John Hillerman. Funny enough, the voice of Robin Masters, Orson Welles, the voice of Kit, the car, Jonathan Hillerman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Higgins is an ex-British Army regimental sergeant major, and he's kind of this stern, very Britishy, by the book caretaker who a lot of times is getting into a little bit of an argument by Magnum's caterwauling, cattish ways. But over the seasons, they start to grow a closer and closer bond. which I believe they were leading to them becoming lovers, but that's not actually figured that out. It's initially cool as a series for you guys. There's an unspoken respect and fondness that grew between the pair. Many of the episodes dedicated more screen time to this odd couple pairing after the relationship proved popular with fans. A reoccurrent theme throughout the last 2 seasons, starting in the episode Paper War, involves Magnum's sneaking suspicions that Higgins is actually Robin Masters. Since he opens Robin's mail, calls Robin's Ferrari his car, this suspicion is never proved or disproved. Although, at least in one episode, you see Higgins alone in a room, picking up a ringing phone call and talking to Robin Masters, indicating that they're 2 different people. But you're always like, hey, is he faking that? Is this just a big fake? Is he faking it out? And we do hear, but Higgins isn't in the room when we hear Orson Welles' voice. So maybe he's just doing an Orson Welles impression, you know?
Oh, like that guy from Pinky and the Brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's his lawyer that he asked to help solidify the ruse because he doesn't want Magnum to know the truth. Which
I don't know why he wouldn't want him to know that.
Right. That seems like a really weird dodge.
But maybe he's just a super reclusive.
This is a combo production. This is Belisario combined with Glenn A. Larson Productions. So this is why this is a very penultimate
crossover,
ultimate crossover thing.
Another super
ionic bond.
So he's kind of just this laissez-faire private detective on a gorgeous island where he's given this Ferrari to drive around with. They never really say how much he's getting paid. And Magnum's other 2 main companions are Theodore T.C. Calvin, played by Roger E. Mosley, R.I.P. He just passed away recently. He runs a 1-person local helicopter charter and a tour van service called Island Hoppers. And he often finds himself persuaded by Magnum to fly him, around in various cases. And then the other sidekick is this guy named Rick, whose real name on the show, not the actor, the actor's name is Larry Manetti, but the character's name is Orville Wilbur Richard Wright. His character did not like the whole Wright brothers reference, which is funny because he doesn't do the plain stuff.
Yeah.
That's TC.
Right.
But
what does Rick do? He's just like a friend, right?
No, so in the pilot episode, he runs a bar called Rick's Cafe American because a reference to Casablanca, because just like in Casablanca, they're in a foreign country. They're in the foreign country of Oahu, Hawaii.
They do have a queen in Hawaii.
Exactly. And like Rick in that episode, Rick shows up and he wears like 1930s attire. But after the pilot, they're like, nobody's ever seen the movie Casablanca in 1980. So they had him change it to now, like his club is this plush beachside kind of club called the King Kamehameha Club.
That's right.
Or Kameyama. And it's like got an exclusive membership, and Higgins is on the board. Magnum's always walking around, and he's always running up a big unpaid tab that will make, he's always charging it to
the Robin Masters account.
And Higgins is always like, Magnum. And so TC and Rick and Magnum, they were all Navy SEALs, right? And they were in Vietnam. And this apparently was a big deal because it was showing Vietnam vets as like guys who were not all shell shocked and stuff, because I guess the portrayal of most Vietnam vets was like the horrors of war. But there are a bunch of episodes with the horrors of war.
Right.
Where there's a bunch of episodes, maybe not a bunch, but there's several where there's like them remembering how gnarly it was in there.
Flashback episodes, right? Or like where they have like delusions or hallucinations or something about being
it definitely comes into play.
Right.
Yeah.
TC's always helping out with the use of his helicopter, and he just frequently says to Magnum, "Hey, I just need gas money," referring to the high cost of fuel. And then there's an episode which is weird. It's so weird. They go to refuel his helicopter, and when they're fueling it, you see the fuel pump, and there's a picture of Biden. And this is like 20, 30, 40 years before. This is like 60 years before Biden was even born. And there's a picture on the fuel tank, and it says, I did this.
That's just prophetic. That's classic Belisarius.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. It's like it's really easy to get on the internet and see like listicles that are like 30 times Magnum PI accurately predicted the future.
Wow, that's more than The Simpsons.
A lot more than The Simpsons. In fact, Magnum predicted The Simpsons.
Wow.
And they had a prediction that there was going to be a TV show of yellow cartoon people that would also predict things in the future.
Right. It was a weird episode at first, but I mean, once it kind of came together, it was a good one. But it's, you know,
he's like, Higgins, I'm watching this show, and these yellow cartoons are predicting something called 9/11, saying it's an inside job.
Well, the Greeks named two of their gods after Higgins's Dobermans.
Yes, there's a part where TC comes in, and he's like, "Fuck Magnum, Jesus Christ," and they go, "What is it?" He goes, "I just had a dream that in 2022, Kirstie Alley died." And they go, who is that? He goes like, "She was good friends." Well, John Travolta here. and then it just goes back to them solving some kind of crazy ass case.
I don't think that happened.
Oh no, it is. The episode's called Under Siege, Under Fire. And it's an episode where Magnum has
to... Are those two different Steven Seagal movies?
It's an episode where Magnum has to take down a military naval colonel who's smuggling in fireworks. Because it's illegal to have fireworks in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since Pearl Harbor. Everyone gets triggered.
Right.
They're too triggering.
Okay.
So, anyway, so that's the team up, and they have a lot of fun. So, mostly, and honestly, I don't even... like a little bit of like personal stuff. I watched it, but I don't remember a lot about it. It was kind of a bit of like a lifestyle porn show before there were shows that were literally just about lifestyle. Before there were like plotless shows about like, well, we're just going to follow around idiots and let them watch them be rich or whatever. This was like, well, we're going to do that. We want to show off Hawaii. We want to show off rich people shit.
Right.
We want to show off like people living like super awesome lives, but we got to have a story in there. And it was a pretty compelling story. Did you guys watch Magnum PI a lot?
I did.
I mean, my parents had it on, and so I watched it, but I don't remember very much about it.
Here's the saddest thing though. This is a weird alternate history situation. After the first season, it's 1981, and the show started, and they like shot the pilot, and it got they're like, I don't know, we might make this, and then it's in front of the thing, and then in the middle, Selleck's auditioning, and he gets cast in a movie called The Raiders of the Lost Ark, and you can actually find the full on the screen test of him doing that on there. But he's cast. Like, it wasn't like, oh, it's maybe going to be him. He was Indiana Jones. And then Magnum PI gets greenlit, and they're like, no, there is like a 2-week spillover where we need you to be shooting the show. And he's like, I really think this movie's going to be good. And I think that you know, this Steven Spielberg cat, that's how they talked back then.
Right.
He's got a lot of wins under his belt. I think this is only going to help the show if you let me off for this couple weeks and we just delay production a little bit. And the studio's like, no, because there was this big weird divide between stuff back then. I guess maybe their thinking was if the movie was a big hit, then he would be trying to, and then the show was a hit, he would try to bail, or he would like cost more money or whatever. But in my head, it seems like a real win-win situation.
Right.
Anyway, but so they say no to him, and he has to turn it down. They give the part to Harrison Ford. And then there's a goddamn AFTRA Screen Actors Guild strike, and the production of Magnum is delayed until December 1980, which would have allowed Selleck to play Indiana Jones. And most of the time, I think like, when I think about like, career, especially like show busy stuff, that like, I could have done this or could have done that. For the most part, it's like, well, you never know how it would work out.
Right.
But I got to think that this is a thing that would really fuck with you. Can you imagine that? How bad would that fuck with you if you would have been, I mean, arguably one of the most iconic on-screen characters of the 20th century.
But I do have trouble imagining anybody but Harrison Ford in that role. I mean,
I know, but
he
would have been good in it. The thing is, he would have been
good in it, but I don't know if he would have been as good as Harrison Ford is in it. And maybe he would have. Like,
but we would never have known about Harrison Ford doing the role.
Right.
We would have just known him. And, I mean, look at the direction and the shots and the cuts and all that stuff. Like in that movie, in the action. Imagine all that with Tom Selleck. And it's weird to imagine because you've never seen him in a movie that had like a really good director in it. Like he's never been in a thing that like
3 Men and a Baby was pretty good.
Directed by Leonard Nimoy.
Well, touche.
Yeah, but mostly that was him dealing with baby Fiki the whole time. I do think though that like there is an alternate world where if he would have got that part, he probably would have done Magnum for a couple seasons and tried to get out. But like that would have led to so much huge movie stuff, And his movie career never really,
Quickly Down Under and 3 Men and a Baby are basically it.
Right. Pretty much. I mean, there's some other stuff too. He did some comedy stuff, but he never, definitely never got a chance to do any kind of meaty roles, Like if there's a world where he is the go-to guy to Harrison Ford. If Harrison, let's even just pretend that Harrison Ford stays as famous as Harrison Ford gets, which, I mean, honestly, Harrison Ford had done Han Solo, so his cachet is real big on there. But other than Han Solo, I mean, you've got Indiana Jones, and that character is so goddamn iconic. It would be hard to not be occasionally drunkenly suicidal over this, in my opinion.
The only thing I would say as an exception to that is you're not comparing someone who had a complete miss of a career to these heights. Magnum PI was on for a shit. I mean, he made surely that was one of the number one shows for years. I mean, it was great.
It was in the top syndication. That's where you make your real money.
As big as Indiana Jones, but it would be hard to completely look at that and say like, oh yeah, but this is pretty great too.
Right.
But
you're right. Yeah.
So I will say this. So just to take a quick break here, what do you think, according to the internet, what is Tom Selleck's net worth? And is it higher or lower than Harrison Ford's?
It's lower.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are right on that. So what are you saying, Brian?
58 million.
Okay.
I'll say his net worth is 30 million, but his mustache's net worth is 21 million.
You guys are close, but you both went over. According to multiple websites, 45 million. Now, what do you think Harrison Ford's net worth is?
230 million.
$300 million.
300 million is what the internet. Well, wow. I have two sources.
Well,
I have four sources. Two say 300 million, and three say 200 million, and two say 230 million. So you're both right.
Yeah, he reached the point where he could say, I will command this amount of money and no less. And it was worth it to pay him that amount of money, I guess.
Yeah. And definitely a thing too of like, there's stuff that Tom Selleck could get asked to do that could work with his agents and stuff and cajole to do at a certain budget level. But Harrison Ford, Harrison Ford can make almost any movie he wants by saying he's down to do it. And it's maybe not quite the same star power as it was before because he's older now, and you know, a lot like I'm saying, do any movie but like he can pretty much do, you know, anything close to age appropriate will happen if he wants it to happen, which is crazy because, you know, there's no other people that are in their 70s that can like go like, I want a movie made. And it could be about like Harrison Ford could get a movie made about old people, like, you know, being old, like a non-Golden Pond type thing, or he can do a fucking action. He's got a new fucking Indiana Jones movie coming out. And there's just no question that even though there's only like 4 movies with him in it and one everyone resoundingly hates, it's one of the most iconic characters of the 20th century easily.
Right.
Yeah, and he played two of the most iconic characters.
You know, all the Marvel people, anybody that's in a Marvel movie, like those are characters that came, and granted, like they took a lot of tropes of Indiana Jones from other things, but not even things that weren't very famous at the time either, you know, because if you're going to a superhero movie, even if you don't know who the superheroes are, you know who and what a superhero is. When we were kids and we were going to see Raiders of the Lost Ark, like I didn't have any knowledge of like the adventure the swashbuckling style adventure serials. I mean, maybe I knew I don't think I did, because in my head, all I knew was like, Han Solo's in a new movie, but he's not Han Solo. Like that's literally how it was pitched to me. Like, we're going to go see a movie and Han Solo's in it, but he's not Han Solo. Yeah. And that's all I needed.
It stands up too. It is
a great movie.
So y'all would know this. I don't know, but it does seem like
that's true, Brian.
Yes, you're both very intelligent people. Mm-hmm. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know that there's a whole mess of movies and those serials and stuff they drew from, but are any of them considered to be really good? To where there's almost like there's one version of that really is what it's supposed to be, and it's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I think you're right.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Like it's not like, well, you really need to see this. There isn't another one, is there?
No, it's very much like those. I think those serials and stuff. It's not that nobody knew about them, but it was sort of like a Tarantino thing of like, you know, a lot of people know what like the word grindhouse or exploitation is because of Tarantino, because he's like, oh, this is where I got a lot of this stuff from. This is the inspiration for all this stuff, and definitely, I think that the cultural awareness completely came from Raiders of the Lost Ark. From, you know, there's probably some film nerds and stuff that knew about it, but other than that, like
probably like the best film serial was probably Flash Gordon, and I don't know that
I would argue Flesh Gordon, because that
wasn't a serial
and boobs,
though.
And there was a monster called a Penisaurus
Rex. Yeah,
Penisaurus Rex. It was what it looked like was like a dinosaur, but it looked like a penis.
We almost had a serious conversation. I'm glad that we deviated almost immediately.
Well, we're talking about film. We're still talking about film.
Oh, sure. Right. No one would argue though that Flash Gordon is comparable to, right? It's no, like it would be a foolish argument to say like, Raiders of the Lost Ark's pretty good, but you really need to see this VHS of Flash Gordon.
Like, if you're watching a serial, you're watching it just kind of for a historical perspective,
right?
In some way, or you're a crazy completist who has to see everything with Superman in it, and I've got to watch the Superman serials.
Well, the Alan Quartermain movies were kind of a rip, right?
Quartermain. There's no R in Quartermain.
Waterburger.
Well, that's why it's quarter. That's got an R because Quartermain. You're thinking of something else.
Well, and those, I think the character of Alan Quartermain the character came before Indiana Jones. That was an actual old pulp or serial, but it's just nobody.
But after Indiana Jones came out, they released 2 Alan Quartermain movies with, I think, Richard Chamberlain, and they were apparently terrible.
Sharon Stone.
Kim Cattrall? Yeah. Oh, Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone, yeah. Kim Cattrall is Temple of Doom.
Kirstie Alley is dead. Yeah, so that's all I got on the on Magnum PI. There's a kind of a conclusion to our Belisario Sans, and it teams up with the Larsana Sans.
A new series next
week together. But so hopefully next time when we drop the name TC, when we drop the name Rick, when we drop the name Higgins, when we talk about Magnum looking down at that her ass and your head right up in it, then you'll know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe watch an episode from the 2nd season of Magnum PI just to get a little bit of an idea about what we're talking about if you've never seen it before.
It's a good show.
So that wraps up another week of the International News Service. Find us across social media at International News Pod. Email us at internationalnewspod@gmail.com. If you want to give us a gift this Christmas to help celebrate our 100th episode, tell your cool relatives about us and snub the lame ones who give you socks every year. Check out the NS merch store at Redbubble and our Patreon. We'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas.
Pagans.
You filthy animals.
Pagans.
Pagan.
Thank you for listening to the International News Service. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. INS, the news you need.